Let's see. Well, I think that when you look at the film, of course, you see a team that's deep into camp, and so I think we were off a little bit in our timing. You know, throwing the football with Tyler and Justin and those guys to Rick. So there were a lot of real close opportunities that we didn't get. That I think when we get out of camp we'll be all right. I saw, what is that noise? Fire alarm. Is there a fire down here? Is that? I saw, because we had so many situations, there was a lot of adversity that hit the units, you know, and that's what really I'm concerned about more than anything, is how we handle that when we get to our first game. Because I think everybody feels good about the work we put in, the progress that we made, but we really won't find out about how we're going to respond as a team until we get in that situation. And we had a few last night, and you know, we'll see. The jury's out on that.
You mentioned last night, secondary, a lot of miscommunication, lack of communication on the back
we gave
end.
up a lot of big plays on defense, and I mentioned that I got to go see what the reasons were, and it was a combination of things. Some of it was we were repping a lot of coverage that we hadn't had a lot of reps on, and so some of the pattern matching wasn't right. Some of it was because we were in some 2-minute situations. There was a lot of communication problems. You know, when it's coming fast, secondary's making the calls, and then some of it was just some guys on offense really making some good plays. And so it's really a combination of everything. And it's important to know why you did what you did, but at the end of the day, we can't give up the number of big plays that we did.
How much better is Worthy than he was at the end of spring?
I think it's significant, and I just watching his command. I think he understands the offense. I think we as coaches have a good feel for what he can do and what his strengths are, and so that I think that's a part of it. And I think the players all around him have a real comfort level of his ability. So he's performed very well this camp.
Is there a way to measure how much it might have benefited him to have played last fall?
No, but I think it's significant. I've always said, you know, we had these discussions today about red shirt and all that stuff, and I know this, that you play better as a sophomore when you play as a freshman, even if you stunk as a freshman. So your development as a player improves when you play as a freshman for a lot of reasons. One is you're learning what it means to prepare each week. 2 is you're developing your positional skills, and then 3, more than anything, you realize, holy smokes, I'm not very good, and I got to go to work, and so it helps you all off season. And I think all 3 of those things impacted Justin.
Eric, you've talked about having to tighten it up on defense. Do you think you're going to have to maybe pare it down maybe more than you expected?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And it's hard in scrimmages, you know, when you have so many guys going. Now it's a matter of, okay, you take most of the guys who are going to be playing. How's that group? You know, because you have 2 groups. You have these veteran guys and you have these young guys. But we still, you know, we're not done yet. We have another good week of prep to grow and learn, and then, of course, game week.
Derek, you talked about McNeil and Bonner and Gray and some of those young guys. And then I guess just how encouraging is sort of the future of your secondary with those guys back there?
Well, as long as they are able to at some point play to their abilities, yeah, I think they have the right height, weight, speed, positional criteria that we're looking for. And that's better than not having that. Now it's a matter of, can we develop them? You know, can we, you know, can they handle it academically? Can they handle it socially? Can they handle it emotionally? And that's the next phase. The first phase is getting the right guys who have those criteria, and then the next phase is how we develop them and keep them here.
But here, 2/3 of the way, I guess, through camp, you're seeing kind of why you recruited them.
Oh yeah, yeah, we're not disappointed in them.
And then Conklin and Ansley, how much do they factor into that? What's your comfort level in seeing those guys now, a few weeks into camp and through spring and everything?
You talking about the coaches?
Coaches, yeah.
Well, I think the spring, you know, was all ironing out all that stuff.
Right.
It's like I said with the coaches, we have a real good comfort level. The next test is going to be when the live bullets are going on the headsets. So we're good now in practice and film. We got a nice routine, working dynamic. We're on the same page. So the one thing that we hadn't gone through together as a staff is a game.
You talk a lot about production on the defense. Have you gotten enough production from that jack linebacker position?
You know, it's kind of hard to really measure that right now because, you know, we're playing some 3-4 where it's a jack and then some 4-3 with an end. I think the better question is how's Jock doing and Willie Bowe. I think Jock has really shown a lot of what his strengths are in mainly sub stuff. You know, when he's in there in more of a spread setting, the plays get a little looser. He's got a lot of real good quickness and twitch where he can disrupt an offense. And so, you know, where it gets tough on Jock is when they tighten it down and big bodies are double teaming him just because he's not as big.
Does that mean that's an opportunity for Willie Bowe to get more snaps at that?
I don't know. I think we have a lot of players who are going to get a lot of snaps, especially early on, because we really don't have many who have proven they can be productive players in this league. We think we have a lot who could be that, and so we're probably going to play a lot of guys early and see what they can do and see what role they can have. And we have an idea of what some of their strengths are and try to create some roles for them to help us win.
Coach, in that same vein, can you just talk about the defensive line? I mean, how many guys?
Same deal.
I mean, too deep?
Yeah.
You feel like it's much improved there?
Yeah, but again, we don't have one who's gone out and just, you know, knocked them dead over the course of 12 games in this league. And so we like who we have, but then, you know, the next phase is going to be let's get out there and see who can perform.
Derek, what's the diagnosis on Downs?
Downs had a patella dislocation, and it was kind of a scary moment, but it's kind of good news. So he's going to be out for a little while, but he should be back this season. I don't know when.
Do you have any other contingency plans? I know you moved some guys over to that spot. Anything else?
We're going to have to create some, you know, because that's a real, you know, we came in the spring saying that's a strength. We had 4 guys, and now we're down to 1. So it's a problem.
Was Ayers looking around too a little bit?
Yeah, he sprained his ankle. We moved him, so he's out. So we got 4 out of 5 down right now. So I guess nobody wants to move there anymore. You know, I went to 3 guys. You want to? Hell no, I'm not moving there.
Is it one of those
y'all
deals?
are doing?
One of those deals where you scheme around it, Derek, or do you take an offense? You take an offensive guy. And
We're
move
going
him
to have
there?
to scheme around it.
So there's,
Yeah.
So
We
nobody,
don't have any
nobody's
bites.
mo-
Nobody
no-
left.
Nobody's moving in. You're not moving somebody else to that position and saying, hey, you're now tied in.
Well, I wouldn't say permanently. We might try to create some roles for guys. You know, and that's what we're going to have to look at here these next few days.
Well, you were proactive with King and moving him to the offensive side of the ball. Do you look more at him in some different areas?
Well, Bart's
Right.
kind of our putty guy for that area. He's done a great job. He has. So I say we have 1, but Bart's the 2. So we have 2 that we're not afraid to put in at tight end. But then, of course, who's playing fullback, who's the second tight end, and that's a concern. We don't have enough. I mean, we came in feeling good, and we're coming out going, we're in trouble.
I guess that means now that King's role is defined. You said the other night he had a bunch on his plate.
Yeah, we're trying to hone him in at fullback.
Okay.
You know, that's what we're trying to do. Because we don't have a backup fullback either. So we have 1 tight end. We have an NFL look at tight end and fullback. Or actually 1 less. You know, the good news so far, knock on wood, is our veteran guys have come out of this pretty healthy. But we've had a lot of problems with our younger guys. You know, you look at just with Kenny Bynum and Christian Harris at Mike. You look at Meredith, now Downsy at tight end. You know, you look at Pig. You look at Jason Kroom. He's been on the shelf for a little bit with a hamstring. So the good news is a lot of our veteran guys have been able to sustain it pretty good. But the unfortunate news is our freshmen have struggled. And I guess it's a good thing we got older guys now.
You're talking about skimming around, if you're talking about spreading the field more wide receiver.
You mean?
Potential without the tight end.
Well, but we got those guys hurt, you know, with Pig and Kroon. You know, so we're gonna have to figure it out. We're gonna have to figure it out. So we're not gonna change the offense, but we might have to move some parts around to manage through it.
So it's at least a chunk of the season maybe without down.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say right now.
Derek, how many wide receivers do you think you would play this year?
You mean in total?
Yeah, just total.
Well, I don't know because there's so much unknown with the freshmen. We'll probably play a lot, but I don't know what we'll settle in on. And I mean, if you look at it, there's not one newcomer who doesn't have an opportunity to maybe get in the game. I mean, you know, Cody Blank was here, he's going to play. CP is here, he's going to play. Then you have, you know, Jason Kroon, who we were planning on playing, but he's hurt. You have Dre Bowles, who had a good scrimmage. Then you had Pig, who we were planning on really to work hard in the slot. So that didn't really answer your question.
Well, but is Pig, if you got any updates on him as to when he might be?
He is I think he's 4 weeks out, 4 or 5. So he's getting close to where he comes out and he can start walking. He's been rehabbing in the pool and all that. I guess a couple of more weeks, I don't know.
Any other injury news out of the scrimmage last night?
I don't think so. Yeah, that was it.